Hello, and thank you for taking the time out of your very busy schedules to watch this video. I hope that there's something in here that is a benefit to you or to someone that you know. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please leave also a comment down below whether you agree or disagree with what I have to say. Today I thought I'd cover some techniques in sales that I use for one of the businesses that I own. And I want to take a moment to apologize for the delay in this video. It's tax season right now, and I'm distracted to say the least. When not busy with tax clients, I do sales. I've watched plenty of videos of people who are in my industry, but they tell you nothing about the videos or what they do or anything other than buy their plan, buy their books. Nothing of those videos other than to buy their training classes to get more information, and they spend 20 minutes trying to convince you to buy their classes. I always said I'd occasionally do things a little differently. So here's one of them. I can't mention the company I work with specifically. I'm an independent contractor for. The company does not like what I have to say about my opinion in some of the videos, and therefore the fact that I've given my 2 cents on politics, because I've got tired of the supposedly credible news sources with their 2 cents. My attorneys have said it's probably a good idea if I just don't mention what that company is, or I delete all of the content that has to do with my 2 cents on politics. And granted, there's a mix there as well on leadership and etc. So go ahead and take a look at it. Now, as far as sales, I want to say, as I've said in the past, it is a learnable skill. That means that it's also a teachable skill. It is also a skill that you, with time, effort, can actually master. There are plenty of books out there that talk about sales and the philosophy of sales or the techniques of sales, or how to improve your sales skills. There's a lot that goes into the art of the sale. I digress. So one of the things you should do when you're self-employed is that you invest in yourself and in your business. In this instance, I've invested in my business by purchasing leads. Someone did all the work for me. I paid them for the service, for what they did for me. It is also good to follow someone who's been there ahead of you and to learn from the mistakes that they've made and try to not do them on your own. This is where having an upline is helpful. In the case of my current business venture, I have a very good upline, and I took advantage of it in the very beginning. So back to the leads. What I'd do is I'd contact a lead, I'd listen to their problem, basically screening them, and then I would call a third party, my upline. He would then, from the stance of the expert, ask them to explain what's going on with their problem with a quick review. And then, as the expert, he would explain to them how the service would benefit both in the short term and long term the person on the other end of the line, how it would help them in their situation. I, of course, would take the opportunity to take notes of the service myself on what I could and couldn't do as well. If the service was not a benefit, we'd go ahead and let them know. We weren't in it. You don't want to get, though some people might find themselves tempted when you're building a business, you don't want to get that quick sale because somebody having found that the service is lacking is more likely to spread negative word about the business or service than to spread positive. All you're doing is not only making it harder for yourself, but other people as well, to have people see the benefits of the service if they're already being contacted with a negative concept of that service. You don't want to go just for the sale in this industry or most industries. You do want the long-term sale. And by that, I mean where you keep them on the service for years and years, not just a month or two, but for long term. because there are long-term benefits in doing this. In my current industry, it's something called residual income. There's plenty of reasons why you want to have that long-term. Again, positive word of mouth advertising you can't beat that when it comes to a business. It is the reason why you want to find people who see the long-term benefits of the service as well when you're screening them on the calls. You don't want to just go ahead, oh, nope, this ain't going to work or that ain't going to work, or go for the quick buck. I am, of course, at the point where I am now my own expert. I've been doing it for many, many years. So at this point anyways, the expert would, while on the call with the prospect, they'd do at least 2 test closes or soft closes. In which they'd find out if the prospect wanted to purchase the service, or how they felt about purchasing the service. Again, you want that long-term sale, because it's easier to show them the benefits of the service than to convince them how the service is going to help them in their current situation. They would end with their portion of the call and let me finish. My expert, he'd go ahead, he'd end the 3-way call. And then I'd go ahead and finish filling out the membership agreement. So if you made it this far, let me give you the script I use, kind of. It varies, but once you get used to it and you want to spend a little bit of time writing your own, using your own words, it can be something similar to this. But when you do a script, you do want something, you want to take the time to practice it because you do want it to flow naturally out. That's why they encourage you to use your own words when you're writing a script, as opposed to somebody else's words. But take the time to rehearse it, and it'll be a whole lot easier when it comes time for the sale as well. It becomes practiced. But I'd go ahead, I'd call the prospect because I get the information in from my lead. You'd be surprised how much information is on it, but I'd get the information back. I'd call them, and I'd start the call. First, you want to go and set the appointment. If it's okay to talk to them, you want to continue in because. Now, most of the time, they do their lead. I'd get it in reasonably quick, to be honest. Sometimes within a couple minutes of them actually being online. So it made it a lot more convenient. But I'd start the call with, hello, my name is Keith. I'm an independent contractor with Company X. Is this a good time to talk? This is important because if they say no, it gives you a chance to schedule the appointment. After all, again, your time is worth money. So you want to schedule the appointment to call them back when it's a good time and more convenient. And I've done this multiple times. Because again, they're looking for your service, so most likely they'll want to talk to you. And this also starts that yes train I've also called in a couple previous videos I've talked about, where you want them starting to say yes. It's a sales technique. Yes, it's a good time to talk, because if you start them off with no, well, you also kind of get it out of the way, but you don't want to go for no. Well, you do, but anyways, different circumstances. Can't apply those catchphrases to everything. Those cliches, some of them are cliche, but. So if they say, yes, this is a great time to talk, great. Would you like to give me a brief description of the situation? Or switch it up, or say what's going on. And I try to emphasize the word brief, because this is where I'd say, remember, you are in control of the call, of the sales call. In the sale, there are certain things I've learned to avoid, usually religion and politics. With those being as divisive today, though, as they seem, I could see where some people, it's good to be aware of them, but where some people would go ahead and try and use them to continue a sale. And I'll get into why here in a moment. It's because people will more likely buy from those who they know, like, or trust. Also, if you don't keep control of the conversation, you could find the conversation going off into left field. And then you have to bring it back to the topic at hand, which in itself could cost you the sale. So you want to keep the prospect focused on what you're talking about at the time. And you want them the ones talking. Now, this can make a 20-minute, if you let them control it and they go take it off in the left field, you could find yourself with a 20-minute call turning into an hour-long call. There are also times where that is beneficial, though. I know, I normally don't admit to it, but there are, again, because they'll buy from people who they know, like, and trust, and there's a few people that are still on the books. So, with that said at the moment, that's a decent tidbit there. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say I'm going to end the video. I'm going to say thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy schedules. If there's something in here that's a benefit to you or someone you know, please like, subscribe, share this video. Go ahead, leave a comment down below. I'd like to hear from you. But with that said, thank you very much, and God bless America.